6 August 65. Dearest Suzie, I still don't know if you are in New Jersey or Florida. I hope that by this time you are safely back home. I still don't have any orders, but at least our duty up here is over. We will be going back to Vinh Long on the 8th. It will sure be nice to get back and start packing and getting ready to come home. How does that sound to you? This has sure been a mess up here. I got so tired of doing without a pen, and it seemed like they weren't going to get any in the PX, so I went into town and got me a Vietnamese pen that writes in 4 colors. How about that? All for about $1. How is Minnie and the rest of your family getting along? I am assuming that you are already home and that you left them all feeling well. How are the boys getting along? Does Brian still ask for me, or has he forgotten his old man? I know that my letters recently are pretty short, but it won't be long till I can tell you what I want to instead of writing it. That is why I put off mentioning a lot of my experiences over here. It will be much better to tell you about them. I love you and the boys very much. Kiss them for me. All my love. Bill. When Popi writes this letter, he's in the quiet space between 2 transitions. His mission up north is over, what he calls a mess, and he's days away from returning to Vinh Long, his final posting before going home. There's a new kind of tone in his letters now. It's lighter, even a little playful, but still edged with fatigue and waiting. In this one, you can almost feel him stretching toward the finish line. It's so close, he can picture it. He's still thinking about packing, about seeing the boys, about all the things he hasn't written, the stories he saved for when he can say them out loud, that we know he never actually tells anyone when he gets home. Not his wife, not his brothers, not even his sons. And in the middle of all of that, there's this moment of pure everyday pleasure. He buys a pen, a 4-color Vietnamese pen. He's been waiting on the PX to restock on pens, as we've seen him struggle to find things to write with, but they never did, so he just went to town and got one himself. He sounds almost proud of it. How about that, he writes, like a kid showing off a new toy. It's a small thing, but that's the point. Sometimes the war gets reduced down to small things. A working pen, a quiet minute, a date on the calendar circled in your head, having fun with transitioning between colors to show off his new pen, which he does in this letter, going from black to green, then red, and finally blue. That pen is more than a pen. It's a gesture toward order, toward control, toward writing again, writing home. He might be tired of the chaos of Quang Ngai, tired of bad supplies and bad food and too many question marks around orders, but he can still write. He can still send love. And if he has to do it in green or red or blue ink, well, that just adds some color. The pen may be a novelty, but it's one that's a distraction, if only for an afternoon. This letter doesn't tell a big story. There's no new battle, no harrowing tale, but it does something else. It captures what it feels like when you're almost done with something difficult. When your mind starts drifting back to familiar things. Maybe your dog, your kids, the rituals of home. He wonders if his son Brian still asks for him, or has he forgotten his old man? That line gets me. Not because it's dramatic, but because it's honest. The ache of the distance isn't always loud. Sometimes it just comes in a quiet question that you can't answer. And if you ask Brian today, he doesn't care to know about Popi's time in the service. He's very politely told me he doesn't want to listen to this podcast, he doesn't want to read the letters. Maybe he remembers the pain of missing his dad. Maybe he remembers what Popi was like when he got back. Maybe he remembers all of the time he spent with Popi at the end of his life, helping take care of him when he was sick. Popi says he hasn't written anything about his experiences in country for a while, and that's deliberate. He's waiting to tell Mima in person. To sit across from her, maybe at the kitchen table, and finally speak some of what he's seen and done. Some things, he knows, aren't meant to live in ink. This means that we will never know about them. We'll never get the story. And that's okay. Those are the things he didn't want us to know. They're the things he couldn't share. Perhaps we've seen enough. Perhaps at this point, he's told us all that he's willing to tell. The photo I chose for today depicts an intersection in a Vietnamese town. There's a shop in the background. A bus is turning and bicycles are heading every which way. There are puddles on the street. To the left, the child is standing there without a shirt or shoes. To the right, we see a street fade into the horizon. Perhaps this is where Popi bought his pen. I'm Alex Lowy, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to this episode of Dearest Suzie, and receiving messages from the past that my Popi wrote exactly 60 years ago. I sincerely appreciate your time and interest. Please consider following the podcast on your preferred platform, and if you're enjoying it, I kindly ask that you take the time to rate the show and leave a review. Also, please follow the project on YouTube, X, and Instagram. All likes, comments, shares, and reviews will help grow the reach of this story. The links for these things should be in the description of this episode. Please feel free to email me at dearestsuziepodcast@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to say. I'd love to chat or to hear about your stories as well. Thank you for listening, and God bless.